Pretty nice night on the way as we have partly to mostly clear skies in the cards for us with seasonable temperatures overnight as well. We'll go low to mid 50s in many locations, and the wind also backs off as we head into the evening and into your night as well. It picks back up to the west though for your day on Tuesday, and we also have warmer temperatures migrating to the east near 90 in a couple of areas east river, but cooler temperatures are on the way with rain. We'll talk about that coming up, but until then, First at 4 starts right now.
Live from KELOLAND Media Group, KELOLAND News First at 4.
35 animals are being treated for malnutrition and fleas as 3 people face animal cruelty charges in Brookings.
Plus, 2 truck drivers plan to sue Denny's following a humiliating experience at a Sioux Falls restaurant.
And later, negotiations are set to continue today with one of the big 3 automakers as union workers strike for a 4th day. Good afternoon, and thanks for tuning in to First at 4. I'm Don Jorgensen.
And I'm Bridget Bennett. 3 people in Brookings are charged with 10 counts of animal cruelty. Authorities arrested Deborah, Brandon, and Jordan Schulte after removing 35 animals from their home on Friday.
Investigators say when they entered their home, there were holes in the floors and feces was caked throughout the house. Court documents say that some of the animals had sores, missing hair, and signs of malnutrition, which were likely caused by a flea infestation. The animals are being treated at the Brookings and Sioux Falls area humane societies.
Police in Rapid City are investigating 2 murders. The first investigation began Friday when officers found a man dead near Memorial Park. An autopsy revealed he died from a stab wound. Police interviewed several people who knew the victim, which led them to 50-year-old Philip Chips of Amsterdam, New York. Police arrested Chips today for second-degree murder.
And the second investigation began on Saturday morning when a man was found dead near the intersection of East Boulevard and St. Joseph Street. Investigators say that the man died of injuries from an assault. Police arrested 29-year-old Jacob Jumping Eagle and 28-year-old Craig, who returns from Scout for first-degree murder. Investigators do not believe the crimes are related.
Funeral services for the Iowa officer who was killed in the line of duty have now been set for Wednesday. People will gather to honor Officer Kevin Cram at the Oglala Community School. He was shot and killed last week while attempting to make an arrest. On Friday, there was a somber procession as Officer Cram's body was brought back to the city. Students were allowed to leave school to pay their respects. Algona's mayor said that he's heard from mayors around Iowa expressing condolences to the community and offering support. All right, let's get a look at the weather forecast. A lot of sunshine out there today. Yeah, another really beautiful day. It was a pretty great weekend too, Adam.
Yeah, the weekend was just about as close to 10 out of 10 as you could get, but unfortunately we have seen an unwelcome guest come back again, especially if you're East River, and that has been some smoke in the air. You can actually see it on visible satellite. Everything that looks all wispy from Mobridge to Aberdeen, Watertown, even into Sioux Falls. That is the smoke we're talking about. Just some plain old clouds, though, out toward the hills and in central and south central portions of South Dakota. Case in point, do a little comparison. Here's downtown Sioux Falls with a view to the north, 85 at the airport, a south wind at 8 miles per hour. Notice all the smoke that's been hanging around out there. But then we flip out over to the west, and there's Rapid City, noticeably clearer, 89, also a little bit warmer as well out there. South wind at 7 miles per hour. We're sitting in the 90s in Phillip, 94 there, 95 in Winter, 81 towards Spearfish, 78 though in Custer, one of the cool spots out west, 89 for Valentine, 80 in Aberdeen, 82 Brookings and Marshall, 78 the cool spot, at least East River, in Watertown. And it has been a breezy day as well. We've had that south wind anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour over the course of the afternoon. Beyond the smoke and then the clouds that I showed you on visible satellite, there really hasn't been a whole lot else to talk about as we have been very quiet today. High pressure has been holding serve and will continue to do so for a little while longer. But there is change on the way. The first change is where all the heat's going. This time around for tomorrow, we'll be seeing it in eastern KELOLAND and to the southeast as well. Highs on either side of 90 in several locations. Keep in mind, averages in the mid-70s. We'll also have a lighter southerly breeze in place to the southeast and northeast, where we'll have a similar temperature spread on either side of 90. To the west, we cool down a little bit toward the Wyoming and Montana borders, 70s and low 80s. Still near 90 once you head toward the Missouri River Valley, but cloud cover is going to also start to increase ahead of what's coming around for the second form of change. And that's some rain that's on the way. And it could get pretty heavy at times, too. We'll talk about that as we head through the hour.
All right. Thanks a lot, Adam. It's been nearly 2 weeks since 100 inmates forced the prison in Stillwater, Minnesota, into lockdown as they protested living conditions inside.
And this weekend, activists continue to push for changes at the facility, this time requesting a meeting with the governor outside his home to address their concerns. Alan Henry with our CBS affiliate takes us to the demonstration.
What do we want?
Home for good!
Activists seeking change in Minnesota's correctional system were hoping to grab the governor's attention this morning, bringing a brass band outside his East Cliff mansion.
The prisons right now are a time bomb. And they're a time bomb because the Commissioner of Corrections is refusing to address the staffing crisis, and that is making the prisons unlivable every day.
Over Labor Day weekend, inmates protested living conditions inside a Stillwater correctional facility. There are concerns about water quality and sweltering heat, and staffing shortages causing issues with visitation and programming.
Make it better. Make it better now. The time is now. We want to move forward, not stay stagnant. The people in minimum, let them go on work release so they can have real wages.
Activists tried to leave a card requesting a meeting on the governor's doorstep, but were swiftly met by security. Releasing more nonviolent prisoners is an idea DOC Commissioner Paul Schnell recently said he hears all the time, but said it's not that simple.
At this point in time, we believe it's really important that we are smart about how we manage this, not just to release people to fail, and not just release people to communities where there isn't a support network to help them be successful.
Activists, though, say something needs to change, and fast.
If we want to have people come home and be successful, we can't make our prisons like animals in a cage. We can't do it. We can't have people locked in their cells all the time without showers, without hot food, without programming. Like, people are going to come back worse.
Alan Henry, WCCO News.
Minnesota Department of Corrections spokesperson says that they brought in extra staff to return inmates to their normal shower and recreational schedules. The DOC says that the only inmates still receiving less recreational time are those being punished for the involvement in the protest.
10 Republican presidential candidates took the stage in Des Moines this weekend looking to win over conservative Christians in Iowa. They were attending the Iowa Faith and Freedom Coalition's fall banquet. Each sat down for interviews where moderators pressed them on topics like abortion, education, and the southern border. The most recent Des Moines Register poll conducted last month found many evangelicals are siding with Donald Trump. For evangelicals in Iowa, 47% said they'd support Trump, compared to 20% for Ron DeSantis and 7% for Tim Scott. Trump did not attend Saturday's event.
Coming up after the break, several wrongfully detained Americans are returning to the U.S. as part of a prisoner exchange with Iran.